channel. So in this video I'm going to introduce a solution to this question called Jump Game 4, and at the beginning I would appreciate if you can help subscribe this channel because it can help me grow, so thanks a lot. So let's get started with the question for today. Let's read through the problem. So given an array of integers array, so you're initially positioned at the first index of the array. So in one step you can jump from index I to index so I plus 1 or I minus 1, or wherever there is another array j that has the same value as array I, well I is not equal to j. So return the minimum number of the steps to reach the last index of the array. So notice that you cannot jump outside of the array at any time. So let's say for the first example, the jump is something like this, and the output is 3, minimum 3 jumps. So let's see. So the constraint says that the length of the array, input array, is never going to be empty. So, and the range for array I is between 100 million to minus 100 million. So having said that, let's see how to solve this problem. So the problem is quite straightforward because it is asking us to return the minimum number of steps, and for each step there is a quite a well-defined pattern we could use. So we could use BFS to solve this kind of problem. So for BFS, let's go through this piece of code. We first define a visited set, which record the index we have already visited or the position we have already visited, and also this value index map. The key is the number within the array, and the value is whichever index that has this number as a value. And let's go through this helper function. So I go through this array. So if the value index map, it doesn't have the corresponding key as array I, we are going to put a new linked list for it. Otherwise we are going to append the index for the corresponding value. So that's it. And first of all, for the BFS, we need to define the queue. We add index 0, which is the first, which is start point into the queue. We add this one as the visited, and we set the steps as 0 because we haven't actually make any steps at this moment. And finally, we are going to return steps, but usually in the middle we are going to return the steps because the final point is really achievable. So let's see. So every time where the queue is not empty, we are going to get the size of the queue, which is the current layer. So all the index in the current layer has the same. So is the index that we can achieve using the same number of the minimum steps. So we are going to go through everything within this layer, pull pop the element from the queue. So and if this current position is the last index, then we are just going to return the current steps, the minimum steps we will need to achieve this position. Otherwise we will need to update the queue. So we will see if it is possible for us to go to the right. So when I say it's possible, I mean that it should be within the range, and also at the same time we shouldn't have already visited this one. Otherwise, we will need to we also need to visit the left position, and also whichever position that has the same value as the current position, we are going to visit it if it hasn't been visited before. And at the end, because we have already visited the index of this value, we just need to clear every index for the current value. So otherwise, it is going to go through this kind of for loop again when we encounter the same value. So this one can help speed up our program actually. And so that's it, and that's it for this coding, for this piece of code. And the runtime is going to be all of n. So n is the length of the array. Space-wise is also going to be all of n as well. So that's it for this coding question and the solution. So I would also want to spend a couple minutes to introduce the procedure we should follow in a real interview. So in a real interview, remember the first step is always try to understand the question, think about the edge case, if there's anything unclear, bring up the question, etc. So don't jump into the coding part too quickly. So that's the part you need to do, have some communication with the interviewer about the question itself, like to scope this question. And the next part for you to do is you will need to talk about the solution using English, or maybe you can draw something to explain your idea, etc. Whichever way is easier and is clearer, that's, you can choose whichever way you prefer. And get an agreement with your interviewer before start to do some coding work. At the same time, I think you need to do some runtime analysis, space analysis, to convince your interviewer that your approach is efficient enough. So after you get an agreement, then you will do some coding work. So for coding, you care about the correctness, the speed, and the readability. So otherwise, I think it should be good. And after you're done with coding, please remember do some testing. So testing is also a very important part, which can be missed by many interviewees. So if you follow the procedure and you do a perfect, you follow the procedure and you didn't encounter any blocker, etc. So everything went smooth. I see no reason why you can fail in the interview. So that's it for this question. If you have any question about the solution or whichever, feel free to leave some comments below. If you like this video, please help subscribe this channel. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.